Yeah.
And let's talk to her about Anaheim a little bit. Let's talk to the savage one, Gillian, the savage Robertson.
What is up?
G, how are
How are
you?
you guys doing?
Happy July 4th.
Oh, thank you. I actually got to celebrate a holiday.
That's
You know?
right. Did you do anything fun?
Me and my boyfriend actually, we were making fun of ourselves because we ended up going to a Korean barbecue on July 4th.
I bet you had the whole place to yourself, though.
Yeah, no, we definitely had a lot of space there. But yeah, so we celebrated in our own way.
I love it. That's great.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Did you check out anything of California, of Anaheim, the Nate and Jorge boxing the whole week? Did you check out any of the festivities?
Unfortunately, I didn't get to catch a lot of that. I did catch that they had an amazing interviewer out there, you know? Saw some pretty cool shots out there, you know? Getting some shots with Masvidal, Nate Diaz. It was awesome.
Hell yeah. I love it.
Maddie thinks it's super cool that me and Nate dapped up. Like,
I mean, listen, not many people can say, like, yo, I dapped up Nate Diaz. Like, that's what's up. I would be nervous with, like, a situation like that where, like, I would, like, go for a handshake and then they would go for the dap, or, like you know, that awkwardness that happens sometimes? I'm like,
What do I do with my hands?
I don't know what to do with my hands.
actually, G would have loved it. This is the behind the scenes story, and G would love this. So we're at the Novo, and this is like a really cool, intimate theater in downtown LA, G. And we're doing the show. It's over. The fans are gone, and we are all starting to leave. Nate, when I'm not even joking, you has 30 people with him, has a posse. His bouncers, his team, his fighters like Jake Shields, all this stuff, his publicists, his guys. He has 30 people with him. All he wanted to do was go to the second story of this Novo where like all the seats are at, and maybe enjoy in a plant substance and just like chill up there in the second story. I'm like, dude, Gillian would be in heaven right now. In heaven.
You should have followed him.
Dude,
Like, just quietly involve yourself.
Yeah, I got the dap. I'm good.
That's fine. Well, I gotta run, guys. Savage, it's always good to see you. Have a great rest of the show. I'll talk to you guys soon.
See
Later,
ya.
Mad.
Bye.
There we go. Maddie Levine's the best. Crazy. So, all right. It's been 2 weeks. Yeah, it was an off week. So UFC 303 and all that stuff. Are you still on cloud nine about the win? How are you feeling? Where are you at mentally, physically?
I guess I was upset there wasn't fights this weekend.
I know.
I wanted some UFC fights to watch. I was telling my boyfriend, I'm like, I was just so excited to be able to be a fan again. I'm like, you can watch fights as like, yes and no, because now like, I still got to watch the 15ers, like, who's next? But I get to be a little bit more of a fan, you know, where I don't have to be so stressed out watching the fights. Right? It's like, even watching fights, it's almost like I put myself in there, you know?
Right. This is a good question by Sean. Goes, how do Canadians celebrate an American holiday? Is it like Americans celebrate Cinco de Mayo?
I'm pretty sure like any holiday is just an excuse to get drunk.
Very true. Dude, Sean, I am like the master of daps. Me and Nate. We got it for sure. We got it. Christopher J goes, Gillian, great win versus Waterson. I scored it 30-24, 10-8 in all 3 rounds. You dominated from bell to bell. Jeez, I like that. My friend.
I'm like just re-listening to the fight. John Anik was saying the same thing about it. He was saying he gave me all 3 10-8s. And I'm like, just hearing that, I guess, I don't know, it gives me a little bit more confidence, but I just feel like I don't feel like I lost, but I don't feel like I won either. I just kind of feel like lackluster without a finish.
It's so funny you say that, because I understand what you're saying. And I actually talked to Grant a lot about this. He used the same way. He had one judge. It was so funny. One judge, 30-26, the other 30-27s on that pay-per-view with Poirier. He was like really upset. I don't want to go too much into it. He felt like maybe a little bit of the same way. But I go like, of course, everyone wants the finish. And I totally understand that too. I'm not saying whatever, but it's like when you dominate a person for 15 minutes, like sometimes it's almost more skillful, if that makes sense. Like you dominated someone who might be in the UFC Hall of Fame one day, like from bell to bell, like what Christopher James just said. Like you gave her no little runs. Like for 15 minutes, you were the better fighter. It wasn't a close thing. Sometimes you could be losing a round and then get the submission and you lock her up. It's like, oh, you won, but like it was a little back and forth. You dominated her.
And I guess like that is the goal of what like Dean always says to me. He's like, if you don't get the finish, it's because you ran out of time. And I guess this is one of those scenarios. So it's like it still is the goal of what we want to do, but I guess you just have a little bit regrets in the back of your mind, just like, oh, maybe if I opened up, gave her more opportunity, I would have seen like the hole that I could have capitalized on, or did I play it too safe, or you just kind of second guess yourself regardless.
For sure. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. I know you don't want to get back in it right away. I felt like 3 fights ago, you had one of the best fights of your career. Then you kind of had a really, really quick turnaround with a lot going around in your camp. Maybe one of the worst performances maybe of your career, right back and forth. And now you just mashed it up with 2 great wins. You got this run again. I know you want to take a breath. With that being said, how long? Like I have it here in my notes. I'm like, you want to take the summer off? Is that kind of the game plan? Do you want to like, hey guys, give me July, maybe August. I'll kind of start treaking back into it. And then we'll see a date in October or November, or where are you at mentally with that?
I don't know. I guess I'm playing around with it a little bit. Originally I said December. I felt like was going to be a good time for me to get back in, one before the end of the year. The UFC has already contacted me with a date that I had to turn down because it was too soon. So it was 8 weeks from now, which is exactly the turnaround that I had for the Tabitha Ritchie camp, which obviously my body just didn't react. I wasn't able to cut the weight. So it's something that I know I'm physically not capable of at this moment. But like I was literally sobbing, like heartbroken, having to turn down this fight. Like it was the worst news I had all week. It literally just like added on to the fact that I didn't finish, and then me having to turn down this fight. I was just had a little bit of a rough day. I think it was Tuesday. But I guess with them, I know that they want me back soon. I may want to try to push it a little bit sooner. So maybe like I still need some time for my body regardless. So I still need at least a month, I want to say, for my body to recover a little bit from the weight cut. And then we can start talking about dates. But I don't want to push it too much, but I'm almost like tempted to.
It's so funny. I like knowing some of that stuff, right? I was like, I'm proud isn't the right word, but I was like, dude, it's amazing. There's a lot of opportunities that I get. And like I said, I got a huge opportunity Tuesday, California. Hey, you're going to MC Nate Diaz, Masvidal, Pettis, and whatever. I was like, boom, I'm in, fly me out. Let's go. And like, there's some opportunities for fighters as well. Like you just almost can't pass up. But like when you told me about it and why, and there's a, I feel like more than legitimate, now, because you did it and it didn't work. It's like, if you would have done it again, and it didn't work, you would have been like killing yourself. You're like, I just told myself I would not do that. And I felt like so strong-willed. Like, I guess that's the right word. Like for you to turn that down is like, you deserve props. And I know a lot of people are not understanding what we're saying, but I'm telling you on air, like you deserve props for turning that down. It's a lot of strong will.
If anything, I feel like I am, I guess, a little bit proud of myself that I was capable of turning it down.
Yeah.
Because I know it's something that I wouldn't have been capable in the past in my career, and it's probably the reason why I've taken some losses that I didn't need to take in my career. Like I lost to girls that I'm definitely better than because I took fights when either I wasn't ready or like, say that I'm not taking anything away from her. She got the win, but like 6 weeks out from Macy Barber, I tore my meniscus and I still took that fight. It's like probably not the smartest idea. Probably should have pulled out on that one. But it's like I was too headstrong where it's like now I need to be making those mature decisions in my career.
The bottom left corner of your picture, it says Savage, and you are for a reason. There you go. Did you see that the girl that we are maybe talking, the woman that I shouldn't say girl, the woman that you were talking about, she's still kind of posted. She's got big fight news in the works. I guess they're doing something. I would assume, you ready for this one? I would assume Tabitha Ritchie versus that other person is going to happen?
Oh, well, I'm assuming this is public because Dean, I had a voicemail on my phone earlier. Dean called me. He was doing some podcast and she was on it and talking a little ish. She was like, "Why you ducking me?" But that's obviously a fight that I want.
Yeah.
Be so cryptic here. I'm like, should I just say it?
It's up to you.
I'm like, like I said, I'm assuming she's talking about it publicly. She talked about it on Dean's podcast where Angela Hill was offered to me. And obviously in a joking manner, she said, "Why you ducking me, ho?" And it's just like, it's a fight that I want more than anything. I want to say yes. I just need a little bit of give me another month and I'll be good. And I'm saying yes to it. I just can't make the weight cut right now.
Right. I said the same thing to Mr. Dawson. I want that fight poster. I want that fight poster.
I want it so bad. Like I said, I was literally sobbing because I had to say no to this. I want this fight so bad. So like, it's just, I have my fingers crossed that I don't think it's going to happen. I'm assuming they're going to move her, like you said, like a Tabitha Ritchie, give her the next opportunity, whoever is ready for it at the moment, because I'm not. But I'm like, fingers crossed, like, just push it back 1 month, please.
It's so funny. So in Fight Bananas, we're gonna have a new show coming out in a couple weeks. It's just something fun that me and Elle went back and forth with, like a kind of cool new idea. And what we're gonna do is you can name any name you want, G, in the UFC, kind of in the top 20, 25, but it doesn't have to be the champion, right? But you can name any name. And we used you as an example. We're like, hey, Gillian the Savage Robertson is going to win the championship. This is the road starting now. And we go, hey, if she beats Angie Hill, and then she fights Mackenzie Dern, and then she fights Furo, like we just done this road, and like we're going to do that for all these guys. And we're just going to let the fans pick any name they want and be like very random, very organic, whatever. Give me a welterweight. Vicente Luque. All right, he's got to go this, and this. And I think it would be kind of fun and a new thing. But it was so funny. We talked about you in the division and like the next 3-4 things. It could be crazy. But all right, Sean, we're getting to it, Sean. We're just talking some shop right here. All right, me and G are talking. Can we ask G about what she thinks about this main on Saturday? Tracy Cortez, Rose Namajunas. G, what do you think?
Excited for that fight and excited for I think it's the main event of the prelims that just got changed this week. Yeah, Jasmine and then new sign Fatima Klein. I'm like, okay, Fatima's gonna be something for like the 115. I'm like, with the Tracy Cortez and Rose and Jasmine, they're all 25ers. So I'm like interested in the fight, but as a fan, I'm like, Fatima's the one I'm gonna be watching, where I'm like, she's gonna be in the rankings top 15 in the 115ers. She's going to drop down to 115 after this fight because it was just short notice. And I'm like, she's going to be one to watch. I'm like, for me, for competition wise, I'm going to be watching Fatima a lot on Saturday night. But when it goes to the main event, Rose and Tracy, I was actually more interested in the Rose and Macy matchup.
Me too. I said the same thing earlier.
Oh, I wanted to see that. But Rose and Tracy, I think you kind of see the classic like striker versus grappler. I think Rose does just have a little bit more of an edge to her in this one. I think she's a little bit more well-rounded. I don't see Tracy being successful with her takedowns as much. I see Rose being able to pick her apart a little bit on the feet.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, I love the fight nights that are in towns. Denver is a great, great city. So like when they made UFC Denver, I was like, dude, this is cool. There's a lot of really cool under the radar fights that I think Fight Night, we're gonna be like, oh, this is awesome. But to me, Rose and Macy was awesome. Like that was a really cool main event, and was like, hey, is Macy here or where is she? And we know what about Rose. I just lost its luster. And I just like to say it, no disrespect to Tracy Cortez. Hey, she might come out here and as an underdog win, whatever, God willing. But it's just like, it just lost the luster of the fight. It just felt like to me. Is there another one? I was
just gonna say the UFC seems to be struggling this summer with there's 3 events in a row where they've completely main events have fallen apart in the last 3 events. It's just like I can't imagine like behind the scenes it must be a complete like disaster.
It goes through bugs sometimes. I feel like the UFC, they go through months that like the whole pay-per-view stays the same. Every fight night main event, nothing happens. It's like 2 months in a row, beautiful. And then there's like a month, and this is the month we're in, just like, oh crap, everything goes to hell. Like I really feel for some reason that Leon and Bilal, I hate saying this out loud in the universe. I'm like, that fight's not happening. That fight is not happening. One of those guys or Leon, I have a bad feeling about it.
It's ever since the fight gods, they gave us UFC 300 and
Yeah.
it came through perfect. They're just like, nope, that was it. That's the end of it.
We're giving you Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje in the greatest moment ever. You guys are done.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy. I know that one thing that was pretty cool that I saw, it was like, we're kind of in the middle of the year, and they were like doing fighter half of the year and male and female. To me, it's very hard for the female because there hasn't been a female with like 2 big wins or one with like a huge win. The male one, there's only one option. Like, and like I saw people arguing this. There's only one option. Am I right?
I think if we're gonna say the same person, Pereira.
Hey, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
He's won 2 main events, like in the 2 biggest shows of the year. It's like, guys,
and talking about how he wants to come back soon.
I know he's insane. Like he's literally, which is amazing. Like he's kind of what Hazmat Chimaev, what we thought we were going to get. Like he is actually him. Like
what a letdown with Hazmat, man.
Dude.
I'm like, just such a weird career in general.
Yeah.
I'm just like, really he like did so significantly well in his first 2 fights, took him a week apart, and then like took like 2 years off, and then has had some like shoddy win, like it was like people coming in on short notice, or like he missed weight by 6 pounds. I'm like, just it's such a weird career. I feel like.
Yeah, no, it really was. Last kind of thing, I have a couple other fun little things, but this is the last thing I definitely want to talk about. I didn't talk about it last week. I wasn't here. I was out there in LA. Dude, so I was at Karate Combat in Orlando 2 weeks ago, the weekend of your fight, right? Yeah, that was the weekend of
the big choke out.
Dude, insane. I like that one video. I think that video's got over 1 million views. Not that the knockout, we can now finally like talk about it because he's okay now. The knockout of James Vick was one of the most sick things I've ever seen live. I was like, gee, I've seen a lot of stuff live and a lot of knockouts, of course. Like it was never that, it was so serious right away. Like everyone knew, it's like, whoa, this is not good. Like this is wild. Like with the paramedics right away. It was crazy. But the whole show with Phil Rose walkout, Joe Penafill's fight, it stinks that Joe Penafil kind of lost, but other fighters had good. It was one of the best shows I've ever been to live. It was a party. I want to give Asim a huge like tip of the hat. They had like a backstage like for media / like VIP. They had like a backstage, all you can eat, all you can drink, free liquor, free alcohol, free food. It was insane, G. It was the coolest show. It was awesome.
I say just the last part there, free food, free liquor, sign me up, you know?
I know. It was insane.
Yeah, no, I caught the main event and co-main event. Obviously, that was weigh-in day for me, so I was a little bit focused on my own thing.
Yeah.
He said the co-main event, Joe Penafil. That was actually one of my teammates who knocked him out, was Arturo
Short
Vergara.
notice.
Yeah, short notice for Arturo. It was supposed to be another one of my teammates, Ryan Coos, was supposed to take the fight. He got injured. Arturo stepped up. And honestly, Arturo's one of the hardest workers in my gym. One of the people I have the most respect for. I was so happy, screaming in the hotel room. Like we usually do film study all week on fight week. So we were just about to start the film study, and we threw that up on the TV right before. It was so amazing to watch. And then the knockout from James Vick. From Rafael on James Vick. It was absolutely just devastating to watch. And it's like, I'm just like, for James Vick, how many of those can you take in your career? Like at what point? Because like in the UFC, he had a couple rough ones too. At this point, it's just rough to watch.
The crazy part about that is like people are forgetting that there's a little gap of time. So that happened in the UFC. Then he kind of went on like the regional show. I believe even one in LFA, and the same thing happened. Like he got 2 or 3 really bad knockouts in like the regional shows. you know, I understand. Usually you think you don't see that kind of knockout in karate combat, but like, dude, it's you are now. Like the athletes, Raphael is a dude. He's a bad man. Like he is a
He's
dude.
an
He was a
athletic
UFC vet.
specimen.
He's got power. These guys are bulking up. They're not fighting kind of at their like, you know, fight weight. They're kind of fighting higher, so they got more power than ever. It was so nasty. Like the wet towel baseball bat kind of a sound on the guys. Like it's oh my, it was insane.
Chills.
All right, the choke thing. Let me kind of talk about this because like I heard this a couple of times and like I said, I felt like I couldn't get into it. People were like, "Oh, it was staged. It was staged." I was there live. It's 100% not staged because of just so many things to go into it. When both teams came out, like they were chirping already, like before the fight even started. There was bad blood beforehand, so it's not like this guy came out of nowhere and whatever. So there was bad blood, and then there was more talk after the guy won, and that's when the guy kind of got really heated and started running after him. And then again, not a lot of people saw this. Asim was like okay with it when he was in the pit, and there's other, you know, security. It was when he started kind of running towards like that edge when he was close to Asim and his wife. That's when it seems like no, over. Like you kind of are in a, you know, you're in my family space now. Yeah. Like it's over. And that's when, as soon as he got too close to Laura, right? Laura.
Yes. Laura.
Yeah, Laura. And then that's when the choke came in and he went to sleep. It was crazy. It was like such a theme a couple weeks ago in Orlando.
Like I said, we were on the way back from literally on the bus back from weigh-ins watching that. And my cornerman, Roy, he was just like, oh my gosh, you have to watch this. Like we're sitting there in the hallway stopping, trying to rewind it, get the footage. It was an absolutely insane scenario.
For Fight Bananas, it was Karate Combat Orlando, and then we went straight into this Masvidal thing. One video of Masvidal and Nate is over 1 million views. All the stuff we posted, like the press conference and the weigh-in, and like I think the open workouts all together got over 1 million. Karate Combat, there was both videos together was like over, like we've got the most views I feel like in this like short 9-day span we've ever had in Fight Bananas run. It's just been crazy. It's been a good run. It's been wild. But yeah, I think that's it. Gee, LA, oh my goodness, it was insane. It was nuts.
Oh yeah, no, I just from the pictures I could tell it was such a dope scene.
Yeah, it was so cool, and like the whole week, and like what I was telling Maddie a little bit, and you know this probably more than the most, like it was so cool. Just the hotel bar, like yeah, the fight night, the fight day. We're eating lunch at the bar, and you look to the left. There's Sugar Sean O'Malley and his coach Tim. There's Duke Rufus because he's there for Pettis. It's just like, what kind of life is this? Like, what are we doing? There's just like everyone was every night. Everyone was downstairs hanging and talking. Ryan Garcia and Sean Garcia was at the hotel. It was just like it was a scene. It was so crazy.
That's how I felt like it was all last week because it was International Fight Week while I was out there. So it was just like everybody was out there. Yeah. All the fighters, like just every other day, you turn around, you're like, oh, that's this person.
Yeah. So even the fight night after the show, met BJ Penn, Bisping was there, like Rampage was there. There were so many people in Anaheim. It was really cool. Welsh and Richie was there. Didn't get to see them. I would have. Come on, Baby Shark. I would have just, threw a little whatever. Throw a little shade her way. I don't know. But anyways, my last fun thing for you for International Fight Week, when you're there and you're seeing everyone, is there someone even with as high as you are? We have UFC records. We have done a lot of great stuff in the sport. Is there still a man or a female from the fight game? You're like, ooh, that's a little butterflies. That's like that's someone older school or gives you a little bit of that, like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's awesome.
Well, I'll say, like, obviously I've met a bunch of UFC fighters at this point.
Right.
There's only been a handful that have ever given me that feeling. And well, the first one I ever met was Tisha Torres. So the first time I ever sparred Tisha, I remember being like scared shitless, being like, holy fuck, that's Tisha Torres standing across the cage from me right now. Yeah. The next one that I feel like that made me starstruck was I fought on UFC Edmonton, and I can't remember who he fought, but Max Holloway was the main event.
Okay.
And I just remember, like, first thing, I got off the airplane and
Ricardo Lamas.
Was it?
No?
I don't think so. It for some reason I want to say Edgar. Frankie.
Oh, Max versus Frankie?
I think so.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
But I just remember I got into the elevator and I saw Max and he was like, "Oh, they giving the cool Reeboks to everybody now," because I just like had the bag or whatever. And I was like, "Oh shit, like Max Holloway's talking to me." So like it was Tisha, then Max, and then the third that I've really felt like that with was whenever I first got in the match with Joanna and Jacek. Because I'm like, she was still the strawweight champ at that time, the strawweight queen. I still think she's the strawweight queen. Defended the belt, I think 7 or 8 times. The only girl to ever do something like that. And she's just, she was the boogie woman, you know?
Right.
She just had that like badass, like, I'm going to fuck you up, I'm better than you kind of vibe. And I just respected and admired that so much. So I'm like, those are the only 3 people I've ever felt like that for. And I feel like at this point, it'd have to be like, I think I might get that way for Conor McGregor still, but that's about it. I'm like, it'd be dope to meet Conor.
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't get that way with Dana? I think I would get that way with Dana.
No, I guess not really. Yeah, definitely. I guess, yeah, those 3 fighters, the only 3 that I've ever like really felt like starstruck, like, holy shit, I'm meeting them.
It's so crazy because like this whole week in LA, like I got probably more messages and calls and texts. It was so funny. So I was with Elle Dawson, with Grant Dawson's wife, and like even a couple people at the arena, like just complete strangers, like, "Hey, Bananas Man," or "Hey, Mr. Fight Bananas." Like even people that I'd never met before were coming to me. She goes to me after the event. She's like, "Dude, more people recognize you at an event than they do like when I'm with Grant, the UFC top 50 lightweight." I was like, that's crazy. It really is crazy. But what I was getting at is with Jorge, like I'm with him so much and I do so much work with him. Like I'm like, I don't want to say past it. It's cool. Me and George are like, me and Jorge are awesome. I love that. The Nate thing for the first time, and he's kind of like on this legendary thing. And like, I keep telling the same story. 2 security guards walk into the ring. His whole team is waiting. And it's just me and a microphone in the middle of the boxing ring. And it's just Nate Diaz. Like, that's it. It's me and Nate. Like there's nothing else. There's no icing. There's no, pretty flowers. There's no ring girls. It's me and Nate and a microphone. It's like, all right, here we go. It was crazy. It was surreal. It was
yeah, I was going to say, it's just kind of, well, for me, obviously, I'm on the other side of it typically.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's that surreal moment when I'm looking at Bruce Buffer and thinking like, it's Bruce in front of me,
Yeah.
Like, it's just like you have a moment to be like, holy shit, like this is my life right now. This is happening. This is crazy.
Love it. Love it. Man, the best. Gillian the Savage Robertson every Tuesday. You have any new sponsors you want to plug? Anything you want to shout?
I have one that I'm talking to right now, so hopefully I'll have one next week. And yeah, a cannabis sponsor, so we'll be rolling deep with that one.
Let's go. Wow, I like it, G. I like it. I'm telling you. Like when it's all said and done and you're 2-time world champion, I already predicted in my head, not once or twice. You won the belt twice. It's crazy. Great run. UFC Hall of Famer, 2031. You're going to have like your own line and stuff. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a good run, G.
Oh, yeah, no. The next couple of years are going to be a good couple of years.
For sure, for sure. August 9th is Island Fights. If you don't have anything brewing before then, if Angela Hill doesn't want to push back that date, maybe August 9th we can fly you back up to Pensacola to do some chomping on the mic.
So get me on the mic, get me on the other side of the ring, the side where it's not, I guess, not as painful.
Yeah, no pain. It's amazing. We sit there and talk and laugh for 3 hours. Eating Snickers and Modelo's. It's a great time.
Yeah, not eating front kicks.
Not eating front kicks. Everything is good. Stitches are out.
They're dissolvable, so they're dissolving slowly, but they're still there, but it's pretty much healed. We're like 95% right now.
Sounds good. Guys, Gillian the Savage Robertson. Oh, yeah, the phone calls, all kinds of stuff. All right, Gillian Savage Robertson. Hopefully we'll talk to her next week, if not the week after. G, you're the best. We'll talk to you soon. All right, friend?
I'll see you
Later. All right, there's G. All right, guys, we are rolling.